Alright, we'll call this lecture The Holy War, Slavery 9 to 5. This is a statement by John F. Kennedy 7 days before his assassination. He had quoted, "There is a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot." So what one might think when you mention the word money? Is it the answer to happiness, fame, luxury, and power? Or simply just the root of all evil? Well, money is constructed by 75% cotton and 25% linen, which is the flax plant. William Tyndale, who wrote in the New Testament, the King James Version, a quote from Timothy 6:10 KJV, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." And William Tyndale was burned at the stake in 1658. Is it a coincidence that cotton and linen from the flax plant both have roots? Have the fact the root of all evil, money being the root of all evil. Well, there's facts to the root part at least. The Crane Corporation or Company in Dalton, Massachusetts, who received the production from Tumba, Sweden, who created it for the Treasury Department. It's eerily strange that grave in Spanish is tumba and can also refer to places, grave places. So the root of all evil comes from grave places, theoretically speaking. And on the reverse side of the dollar bill is the eye above the pyramid. One idea is the eye of God. Another represents the all-seeing eye of the Freemasons, or representing Illuminati. A majority of our founding fathers were Freemasons. Next to the large 1 in the upper right of the front side of the $1 bill, if looked at through a magnifying glass, there appears to be an owl, which is a symbol associated with the Masons. Some argue it's a spider, the webbing around the 1, which can easily be the spider's web. The spider is a symbol of evil. As for African slavery throughout the 1800s, money being produced of 75 cotton, interestingly enough, most of the African American slaves worked on cotton fields. Could they possibly have been deviously forced to sell their soul to the devil? No matter how we look at it, slavery is money and money is slavery. And just think, there's thousands of citizens who travel to their place of work each and every day, almost each and every day, or 5 days a week. Some travel for 40 years, who routinely ride alongside of vast cotton plantations and fields. And it fascinates me to how many of them actually take note of the situation they're in. As for all this being said, I often ponder over the fact that if we're in such a substantial national deficit, why not simply just produce more money? Through my research, I found that America was the 3rd highest producing country of cotton, and they're last on the list of the flax plant. While Russia is currently in high demand for cotton, and they're first on the list for growth of the flax plant. Could this be one of the political talks between President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin? Talks about crops, swapping crops for money. Who knows? But all in all, it's clear we all have to work for money, and all need money to survive in our economy. But 80% of people are extremely unhappy with their jobs. On average, people spend 90,000 hours at work in their lifetime, and 40% of Americans say their jobs are extremely stressful. 10,000 workers per year die at work and results of 70-hour work weeks in Japan. We the people need money to survive in our economy, so we're forced to work for it. But what they call employment is not to be on a workforce, but forced to work. So our political system of governance created such a deceitful green piece of material which is so sadistically powerful, it actually almost subconsciously makes us citizens of their economy in a sort of trance-like state, chain and unchain our own ankles on an average 8 hours a day. Chain and unchain our ankles on average for 8 hours a day, complacent by this imaginary or illusionary ball and chain on our ankles. As we punch out our time clocks, we unlock our own ball and chain. Not forced by slavery and by the human hand or whip or anything, but by money. The power of money. Yet a majority of Americans like working for money, which is understandable. But ask most of them how much more mentally and physically exhausted they are just to afford the so-called finer things in life, which is all material. It's all an illusion, which they have little time to enjoy. Although some of us strike it lucky and find the job we want and make a substantial amount of money, majority of us can't find any future pertaining to our talents, dreams, and aspirations. And at birth, we grow and enter the educational system, graduate, some go on to college to further their career, which few succeed in. And you'd think at some point in our younger years that they'd have a government program in place for us that will ensure our survival in case of a national tragedy or for our own benefit. A type of training to live alongside nature, to live in nature, live off of nature, hunt, trap, eat berries, certain plants, simply just for natural form of survival. There's no sort of thing like that. Instead, they provide us with grocery stores that we can walk into and get all the eye candy and goodies we can, and they're cut and packaged and ready to eat, when most all of it is made of mostly preservatives, which is not healthy for us and no good for our bodies at all. And this is their so-called luxury for us working people, as we pick what we want and pay with our hard-earned slave money. But now think, if nobody worked, if nobody's employed, and nobody has money, nobody can eat. And although there's welfare and there's ways, but it's not structured that way. And if we could look past reality and see reality, you come to realize, not only understand nature better, but respect it as well. The point to this is, we all work for our political government's gain. Although it seems like we work for our own gain, we're doing their business, their dirty work, believing we have a roof over our head, a picket fence in our car. If we never put on our ball and chain again and freed ourselves, we'd lose it all. They own our homes, picket fence, car. Most disturbingly, they own us. They made national holidays like Christmas and Easter. Christmas is about the gift of giving and being with family. As you know, Christ's gifts they brought him weren't bought at Walmart. They celebrate the 25th of December for Consumer Sale Day and collect all their money every year around December, January. And if I know Christ, he'd never want somebody to put gifts under a dead pine tree, and by no means is it our fault. It's just part of the systematic governance pattern of lifestyle that's been put in place for us. And real change doesn't start with the political system itself. It starts with the character and personalities that are behind the system of operations. We need less competition, more compromise. Eliminate the egocentric, power-driven people with compassionate, understanding ones. Replace greedy with humble and righteous ones. World peace cannot be achieved through one person in this material world. Although spiritually achieved in one person, will live in a world of peace. Okay? World peace cannot be achieved through one person in this material world, although spirituality achieved in one person will live in a world of peace. So the only real true way to win in this life is through spirituality. Your God force, or inner being, by practicing inner strengths through meditation, self-governance, just to name a few of many ways. It's been stated that our government is concealing one of the greatest historical ancient knowledges of all mankind. Time and time throughout my life, people would ask me if I believe in Jesus Christ, and I reply no more than I believe in myself. And on that note, the one we call Jesus Christ was definitely one of history's great spiritual leaders, if not the greatest. But the word Jesus, the letter J, didn't come into the English language until about 500 years ago. His real name was Yeshua. And the word Christ means the anointed one. And yes, I believe in him. But Jesus or Yeshua would never ask for our praise. There's nowhere in the Bible Jesus or Yeshua said, worship me. If anything, he said, imitate me and do as I do, match my character, gain spirituality. As millions pray, some say, I love you, Jesus. No, you don't. You never met him. You never met him. It's what we're programmed or taught to do. It's what we're programmed and taught to say. Our very own government failed to give us the most important ancient spiritual knowledge in mankind's history. The truth is that God is inside each and every one of us. You are God, the universe, and the Creator. At birth, we all entered this world completely innocent, pure, loving, compassionate, caring human beings. It's all intuitively who we truly are. That's it. But we enter a system that intentionally offsets our emotions. They want to make us stressed out and hostile, and it's seemingly unbelievable. But in many devious forms, one way is through the made-up material world we're forced to live in, so we think. No child at birth is born egocentric, aggressive, arrogant, violent, deceiving, conniving, etc. And most of these emotional traits aren't even in most of us at all. They're learned in a form of evil's creation by money and the business system. Real change starts with you, through forms of meditation, self-governance, spiritual discipline, just to name a few ways. To obtain pure spirituality and oneness with the universe is by far the most enlightening experience you can imagine. You can produce this through the law of attraction. It is fact. At this level, you heal all sickness in your body. I'd experienced a glimpse of this some time ago. Although I lost the enlightenment part, I've learned it comes and goes in my inner being. Is stronger than before I ever found out about this. In this state of spiritual awareness, your inner being vibrates to a certain frequency. For we are all energy forces. Everything vibrates. Everything in existence. Take note, the more you vibrate through your inner energy, the more you attract the evil energy of those who vibrate a lot less, for they are still in the human state of being. You'll be able to put out, you will be able to outwit them, for your awareness is supernaturally heightened where theirs isn't. As you walk amongst society, those who are around you, your aura will feel a sense of enlightenment, meaning as soon as you step foot in a social gathering, they get your vibrations felt through your aura, and they go about their way, meeting others, and others get the same heightened vibrations, and so on and so on. This is called an awakening, total awareness, heightened senses. Those stuck in the material world ways are emotionally offset, jealous, envious, hate, greedy, and you intuitively beat the evil with ease, for they are still human. Your enhanced senses will prevail over them effortlessly. World peace starts with you. I encourage all who feel trapped in their environment to look into spirituality studies or spiritual studies, for it is indeed a superpower. In my other book I'm currently writing, I talk about two forms of creators: those who create with the mind and those who can levitate, lie on beds of nails, and heal people's ailments through touch. These are spiritual creators. I truly believe there's a lot about this knowledge yet to be learned. They had just recently discovered and claim they have facts that Moses actually split the Red Sea. If this is the case, could this be why governments of America and Europe had kept this ancient knowledge from us? You best believe if there is more to discover about this knowledge, splitting oceans and possessing and obtaining godlike powers, I believe no military would have a chance to win in a holy war, although this is mere speculation to now, at the present moment. This you're listening to here, spirituality is illuminating all around the world like never before. More and more people are waking up, and if you become awoken, your inner being, your God force will try to enlighten all, including the evildoers around you. And if that's not possible for certain demons, you'll be able to outwit them when confronted with ease. The Holy War doesn't involve Christians, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, Jews, or any religion in general. It involves every man, woman, and child who walk upon the flesh of Mother Earth, and it's been raging on for centuries. So I'll end this with saying, those who are interested in becoming a God force, I suggest you read up on The Gospel of Hip Hop by KRS-One, or certain studies of the law of attraction and metaphysics, and even meditation. Even read some Ellen Watts books, or listen to some of his lectures of Ellen Watts. Okay, so peace, love, and unity. Take care.